everyone. Welcome to the OnlyGod Podcast, episode 2. So, yeah, the first one we talked about. Sorry.
Whoa, whoa, wee, woo.
Whoa. Okay. The first one we talked about, we kind of let it flow. Childhood.
A little bit of the OnlyFans stuff
Yeah.
and just talking about life, which I like doing it that way. How do you feel about doing it that way?
I love it because I'm kind of sporadic anyways. My brain is definitely sporadic.
Yeah, there's like 2 podcasts that I listen to.
Uh-huh.
And one of them's a tech podcast. And I used to be really into tech and I'm not so much anymore.
Uh-huh.
But I watch it because I love the guys that are on the podcast.
Oh, just to see them.
Yeah. And I've been learning that's what most people go to podcasts for, is just who are the people that are there.
Yeah. Just being your authentic self.
The real fake self.
I'm so good at that. My true, authentic, fake self.
Yes.
You guys, we just had a conversation a little bit before this where it's like, I basically have been on social media for so long. Since 2014 is my first post, which is so cute. You know what it was? It was like His Will Be Done or something like that. Was my first post ever. It was like a God post. I'm like, oh, even like I didn't know really much about having a relationship with God. I was still like, He was there in my heart, and I wanted, I wanted that relationship. But yeah, so I've been on social media for so long. That's what I was talking with the therapist about. It's like, all I know is putting up like a front, and especially being an addict, hiding behind that I was an addict. I got to the point where I didn't care at one point, but definitely, it was all these cover-ups, and now I'm getting to the root of who Alicia Megan is, that sweet little girl that's been hiding for so long. And like for me, when I wasn't getting the love I needed, I became I tried to fix everything at a young age. I put all this pressure on myself, my family, like whatever my dad was feeling, I was feeling. I took that on as I'm doing something wrong. And so my whole life and existence, which is crazy, has been literally trying to earn love. Whether it's posting to try to get validation and love and like affection from all these things that are not going to fulfill you anyways, because the true love is, from the Lord. So, but learning to love myself, it's hard. Like I went on TikTok yesterday and live, which if you guys aren't watching me on live, you guys should. And it was still hard. Like I still felt like I have to perform. Like I need to do this. I have to be entertaining for people, and it's draining. So draining. It's definitely what God has given me for the time being. It's been such a blessing. I've met amazing people on TikTok. I'm so blessed. But it's a hard transition when all I've known when I turn on the camera is to cover up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And be this badass and not the sweet girl that I am.
Let's go. I love that you're actually saying that about yourself. Like in not a joking way, because I've seen you joke about like, I'm such a sweet girl. But it's not you actually thinking that you are or believing that you are.
It's so weird when people say that I'm sweet. Like my neighbor, I'm like, you're so sweet. She's like, you're so sweet too. And I was like, but I'm not sweet like you. She's like, why don't you think so? And I thought about it. I'm like, I don't know why I don't see myself. I think it's when you get in unhealthy relationships, you have so many word curses that are put over yourself. And then on top of that, you start believing the lies, like I'm not lovable. Like especially for me, I was isolated for so many years in addiction and in an unhealthy relationship. So I only saw myself from a broken lens. And now it's like repairing all those thoughts and ideas. And like I tell people, it takes time. Because you've been, like, when you find the Lord, guys, give yourself grace. And that's what he told me yesterday. Yesterday, I went into therapy, and I was like, just, y'all, F-bombing it up, just, like, going crazy. And I'm like, fix me, Blair. And he's like, I was like, I need to fix these wounds from these men or whatever, my father wounds. And he's like, I can't do anything until you give yourself grace.
Mm.
And I was like, okay. By the end of it, I'm crying and I'm like, look like a little puppy. I'm like, and I'm like back to myself. But it's like in order to heal, those things have to come up, because what I've done is push them down, push them down, push them down. And you can't get healing until you're ready to let those things come up.
Yeah.
And it takes a long time. For me, even crying is hard. And I was proud of myself. I went running yesterday. I crashed out on TikTok. Which, if you don't know what that crash out is, basically means that you're like, imagine you at work, like throwing a fit and I don't want to be here. That's basically what a crash out is. Like I literally have like been on the floor on TikTok live, on the floor.
Like throwing a hissy fit?
Like on the ground. Like I'm on the ground with the camera and I'm like, I'm dying. And so anyways, they banned me for a week. And then I don't know if this was God or what. I was like, oh my gosh, I got banned for a week. So basically I'm out of, I'm fired for a week. And then I went back on and it was gone.
Wow.
And I've never had a ban be lifted like that. And I was like, okay, that's God. I got to like get myself together. So I went running. And then when I went running, I just started crying. And I've always been into fitness. Like, I used to run like 6 miles every other day.
Wow.
The doctor was like, are you training for a marathon? I'm like, no, this is how I keep myself sane. Like, and I just remember like so many times I've run in my life, like since I was a kid. I went running with my mom since I was real young. And it was like, I was still having so many moments with God at the same time, and I actually cried, which was good. And then in therapy, like that's the whole time I cry. And then, so yeah, it's a good improvement, like opening up my heart, feeling things. Like we're so afraid of our feelings nowadays. Yeah. And when you can truly be in touch with your feelings, whether they're good or bad, that's the beautiful thing. He's like, love yourself. Even that, he goes, Blair was like, my therapist was like, love that girl. Even when that girl that was crashing out, you can love her. And I was like, okay. Because I went on TikTok feeling all guilty. And I was like, look, y'all, it's life.
Guilty about what?
Guilty about like crashing out so hard and like, and like being so emotional. And he was like, it's okay to love yourself even when you're messing up. That's the point of loving yourself. Like true love is like if your husband or wife does something wrong, you're not like, oh my God, I don't love you anymore.
Yeah.
But we treat ourselves that way. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
But we're like, nope, I'm not lovable. Nope, I'm horrible now. Like it's crazy. I've always been black and white in my life. And I've always been intense, either shut out or intense. And like to me, that was a form of love. And he told me that. He's like, your form of love is like passionate, intense. And I'm like, it's so interesting. Like I don't know what like normal love is gonna look like. I mean, I do with the Lord. I'm learning the love and loving myself is a form of God's love, right? But like a normal relationship, like without the passion, without the like, I'm gonna eat you or something.
Wait, what do you mean by normal love and normal relationship?
Like he said, normal relationship is gonna feel boring to you at first because all I've known is like that intense, like love bombing or like intense, like
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, but now I've already seen a difference where somebody love bombs me. Like recently, I had this guy and he's like, "I love you so much," and da 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 da, and I'm gonna marry you, and I'm just like, you're crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like as before, maybe I would have been like, oh my gosh, yeah, you love me, or I don't even know what I used to think. The more you heal, the more you like get away from those toxic, relationships. And yeah, so
Jake is just in listening mode today.
no, it's you. No, it's like you now. It's you now. I know I really went on a little tangent.
No. I sat down.
What about your love life?
That don't exist.
We gotta. Jake's been single for ladies. Look at this man. Look at his smile.
I know.
Look at his blue eyes. Look at his man bun. Ladies.
They can't see me right now.
They will see you in
a second. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
And look, he even unbuttoned his shirt a lot.
I know. I do another one, ladies.
Tonight,
I had to button this one up.
Why?
You said
no, unbutton it.
Oh yeah.
Yes, ladies.
I ain't go even
no,
further.
No. We don't know. Listen, I already get in trouble for modesty, so
yeah,
you gotta make me look better today.
And then you're right. No, I sat down, and this is actually something from Blair. that he that's what I wanted to do in the beginning.
What?
Before we started to record, I want to do some like somatic stuff. Has he done that with you? Like you tap here, you tap here, you tap here, you tap, and tapping and then breathing stuff?
No, should we tap and breathe?
I don't know if we have time.
You want to do it in the second one?
Like actually do it?
Yeah, why not?
Sure, let's do it.
This one will just be non-tapping. You know what's funny? I went live with a guy yesterday, and he was telling me about all that, and I was like, I feel like, unfortunately, the world has taken so much things and turned it into bad that you think it's evil automatically.
Yeah.
Like, he was like, when I wake up in the morning, and I'm like, why don't you just ask Holy Spirit? He's like, he was telling me, like, from trauma, you tap certain things or something. Want to just do it? Since we're talking about it, let's do it.
Okay, so this is what Blair told me to do. So this all comes. Blair's just a genius. I also go to Blair, the same person that Alicia goes to. You hit your top of your hand 15 times, on your left one, and then you do it 15 times on your right one, and then you're gonna do 15 times right here, and then 15 times right here.
Okay, everybody, let's do this together. Okay.
And okay,
follow him what he's doing.
so if we're gonna be doing it, the goal is to like calm ourselves. That's what the aim is, and then we're gonna do some breathing stuff as well.
And we're asking the Lord to come into our presence at the same time. He is with us all the time too.
I know.
So.
When I was driving here, I actually was like, okay, you know. That's why I was like, I'm in listening mode today, because Blair said multiple times that like whenever he just sits there, the most transformation happens. Whenever he's just like, he doesn't need to say anything, he just sits, and the other person feels so safe that they can just like dig and dig and dig and dig and dig, and then get to the point where like he does guiding, of course, but it's a lot of the person taking the reins.
That's true, and I'm such a bad listener. People do not feel safe around me.
Well, listening.
Y'all, we gotta laugh about our healing journey. That's the most beautiful thing. Is like, we're not perfect, but we're open-minded, and I think that's the point to healing. It's like, I'm open-minded to what he's saying. You know, we're just trying to be better. You know, better people, and yeah, with the Lord and tapping and breathing, we go and Blair.
I know what else.
Blair's gonna be on the podcast, by the way, guys.
Yeah,
we'll talk offline.
Yeah,
about that, but
I've shared so many tears, with him. I went and saw somebody else before him for like, I sat and I like would regularly meet with them for like 2 years, and so before meeting Blair, so that was maybe like 6 or 7 years ago. And then had like 4 or 5 years where it was just me, and it was like working on my dynamic with myself and getting connected to myself. And then one of my closest, he's probably my closest friend, he told me about meeting with Blair, and I said, all right, sign me up, because he does the same stuff that the other person I met with for 2 years did.
See, that's the thing. What I like about Blair is he's like, fire your therapist, guys. If you're there for 10 years, I mean, it's always good to go and do a checkup. But like, one thing he said, he's like 2 to 3 months, and then you're on your own.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's still good to go check up, but like, they're there to help you, and we should be to the point where we use the resources they give us. If they're just trying to milk you, they're going to keep you in there forever. And that's what I love about him.
Yeah.
Is like, he's like, all right, let's get to the source. Like, we all have the same God. We all have the same power in us. And once you break those lies of the enemy, and like, you know, you can change your perspective, your lens, and everything. Like, it's a combination of everything, but like, you shouldn't be in therapy for 100 years.
Yeah.
Because like, so I hope you.
Are you looking at someone, and
you
are you referring to someone that you're like, I know you
fired the other guy. So Blair, how long were you with him?
I still go see him. I just don't do it as regularly. Like, I met with him like semi consistently for 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
And then now it's just like I purchase a package of a few sessions. They get a little discount, and
I
then
didn't know about package discounts.
oh yeah. I don't ask him. I don't. Maybe
I
I
only
said
do
too
one
much.
sessions at a time.
Yeah, it's only like it's a very small
Oh.
difference.
Well, he's worth it. Anyways, he's worth it.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to
100%.
tap though.
Okay.
Let's tap.
Okay. So you're gonna go 15 times on the left side. Just
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Everybody do this with us too, guys.
and then on the right side. And then in between your index finger. Yeah. Right there. 15 times.
Maybe I'm not hitting hard enough. This isn't doing nothing for me.
Just the goal is to get connected to yourself. It's not gonna like make this huge difference.
Why are we doing this?
Cause you'll
Look at us.
and then
What do we do?
here and then so don't
I'm rough.
yeah, hold on,
I think I have to hit harder. and make a
Yeah.
difference.
I'll give you a hammer and then
Yeah.
all right. Don't worry about the people that are watching, okay?
I'm not.
Okay. So here,
Okay.
1, 2, and then right here. And then here where you smile.
I don't want to take off my lip gloss.
And then underneath your nose.
This is too much for my makeup. Got all my makeup on my fingers. Alright, guys, I have spots all over my face.
Okay. So maybe that wasn't a great thing to do like with the makeup. And then so I've done this to like soothe myself, and then we did a breathing thing, which was you breathe in for 4 seconds. And then you exhale for 10. And you do it like yes. And then we do that 4 times.
Just like this guy's looking at us. These guys are all working over
I
here.
know.
They're probably like, man, I wish I could do some breathing
Yeah.
exercises right now. They should join us. They probably have a better
know.
day. Okay, 2 more. We have 2 more, guys.
Okay.
Stop getting distracted.
I was good until you
Okay, keep
commented on
tell
it.
me.
Okay.
Okay, now everyone's probably asleep.
Do you-
Hey guys, are you here?
Yeah.
I feel so relaxed. I'm telling you, you can get high and literally, I can be in God's presence. I swear to you, I can get high.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
if God gave us weed and all these drugs, you don't think he can give us something better? But it's like a different kind of high. It's like a clear high. It's not like I'm in a fog. Like when you smoke, you kind of feel like dissociated, or like in a fog and not in control. It's like this piece of like meditation has been key for me.
Yeah.
Like, on my journey, meditation. If you cannot get still, there's definitely a problem. I was talking to my sister about this. She's always go, go, go. She's got all these kids. And she's like, I know I need to do work. Like, I need to get, better at this stuff. But it's like, there's nothing like being able to be in the silence and like be still. What's that saying? Be still.
And know that I am God.
And know that I am God. And like, that's so simple and so powerful. We complicate everything. We be complicating ourselves, tapping ourselves. We just need to be still.
Well,
No, I'm just kidding. It does work. It does work.
It's because we are so busy.
Touching yourself basically
Yeah.
is like a way of like, explain it.
It's just like getting in touch with your body. I don't even know the full thing. I just did it because Blair told me to do it and it worked, and I've just been doing it since. And it's just crazy helpful when it's I what was this? I said this to myself in the car. I'm trying to learn. I'm very good. We do this, what I'm about to explain very well, where we're like, oh, I got this deep understanding about something in life, and let me go share it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, nope, that was just for you.
Yeah.
So that you, not to share, but so that you can live it out.
Yeah.
And the other day when I was in the car, I was like, okay, like I want my heart to know that I'm loved. I want my soul to know that I'm loved. I want my mind to know that I'm loved. And then once all of that happens, then my body can experience that. And so the like the tapping gets you, because your body's the only like actual interaction with this physical world that we have. And so getting connected to it through all the other means is just so valuable. And so I just
we're
did
just vessels. Literally, we're just like vessels. Who was I? Oh my gosh, it was Blair I was talking to. I was like, why do we have to have these hearts? I was like yelling. I'm like, this heart is so stupid. I'm like, why can't we just be like, like animals, like just like do this, do that, and like, why do we have to have these like the conscience, this feelings of our flesh wanting to do something wrong, or like all these different things? And he's like, you are so cruel to your heart. Like you can't shut out you can't like, that's not the way it works. And like, it's like I was almost like taking my anger out on my heart, which is crazy.
Did you feel that? Did you feel yourself taking your anger out on your heart?
Yeah.
What did it feel like?
It's just like mad at my heart for like feeling these things, when it's like it's the most beautiful thing to feel and to love. But because we've gone so far away from how God designed us to be, we kind of like, our love is turned into what? Distraction, social media, different outlets, instead of like how it's supposed to be, that pure love. That loving one another without wanting something, without gaining something, like that. And I think for so long, when we're in these toxic relationships, we start hating our heart because our heart keeps damaging us, but really we're just not aligning ourselves with God. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the more we align ourselves with God, we're not going to be with an unhealthy relationship. We're going to be like, this person does not love me the way God loves me, which is that unconditional, that pure love, that like, how are you doing? Like, not pushing some, like, of course people have fights, never relationship's going to be perfect, but like, when we are so immune, I think I speak for like 90% of women, is we've all been in those relationships where, we wanted to feel that love, we jump in a relationship, then we stay in that relationship because it's almost, for me, I felt it like it was a duty, like loyalty. We're so loyal. And we stay in these relationships, or we get comfortable. We get comfortable in these relationships that are horrible. And it's because we don't truly love ourselves. We're not connected to God. And it's like, that's why, like, for me, I had to cut out everything. I've been single for 3 years. I've been celibate for 3 years, but we talked about that. Sex with your ex don't count. So technically a year, okay? But it's like, I don't even know what kissing feels like. I don't even, like, I want the next person to feel like brand new. You know what I mean? Where it's like my first experience. And God can sanctify you, where you could have done the worst things, and like literally he can purify you to where that is so foreign to you. Like, you know what I mean? Where in your mind, it doesn't become like this dirty, like for me, oh my gosh. So a lot of y'all know and I made a podcast about this. I was abused out right after the military. I was physically abused, sexually abused. And recently, which is crazy, all these years later, so he's been doing this cycle with every person. He abused animals, like all this type of stuff. So long story short, all these years later, that's why, y'all, what is done in the dark will come out. All these years later now, TikTok, everyone's exposing him. He like killed a monkey, like squished a monkey, like, because you can't have anger. A lot of people who have like anger and demons, they use animals because they can control them. So they'll have all these animals, but they're super mean to their animals, So anyways, long story short, I don't think we talked about this in the podcast last, how I basically went on this guy's live. It was like 4,000 people were watching it. And for the first time, I thought about so much stuff that I had like pretty much numbed myself. Like I overdosed. Like I literally, like, all because it stemmed from this encounter of with this person. And that's why it's so, in the Bible it says guard your heart, and that's so important. Like, be still, be with yourself. And like, that's what I'm doing now, is like being alone with me and God, learning to love myself first before I bring anybody else in my life. Like, I'm so chill about that. I'm not looking, like, for real, I'm not looking. I'm like so satisfied with my relationship with him and building that first, because I'm telling you, that one relationship got me, I was sick for 5 years after that, you know, in addiction. And that's why for me, I'll always take accountability in everything. And like, I was a victim for so long that, and it's okay to be like, yes, I was a victim to a certain degree, but to a certain degree, like, we were sick to get in that relationship. Like, that's why I tell every woman, yes, it sucks. Yes, he didn't show those signs. But at the end of the day, that love bombing, that like intense, like we felt it in our souls, because God gives us intuition for a reason. And so like, I'm in a position where, and I think that's where healing comes from, where like, you know, recently somebody I found attractive, I didn't date them or anything, but I found them attractive and they still had toxic traits. And I didn't look at this person like, oh, something's wrong with him. I did at first second. I was like, geez, what's wrong with this person? But then I looked at myself and I was like, what's wrong with me that I still find this certain type of person attractive? And I think that's where you get out of those toxic relationships, when you stop pointing your fingers at that person. Like, this man's a narcissist. I see all these these women get on social media. He's a narcissist. He's this, he's that. But like, where are you in this equation? You know, like, you didn't get in this situation because you were healed. You know, so I look at everything as like, you know what? It was good that I isolated for so long. I didn't know I still had wounds. I'm talking like no man talking to me for 3 years. And so I'm like, I'm good. I'm healed, because I had nothing to trigger that. And then, you know, recently something came up with this person and I was like, oh my gosh, am I still like attracted to that type of person? And just because you hide yourself and isolate yourself does not mean you're healed.
Yeah.
So it was beautiful, because that's when I realized, okay, I have more self-work to do. You know what I mean? And isolation is a big cover up of I'm healed. For real. Like, I am the isolation queen.
Wait, are you
Not
saying,
anymore. I don't even want to speak that over myself. There's power in the tongue.
are you saying that people can use isolation as I have healed and therefore I'm going to
Or
isolate?
as a form of fearing to go deep with themselves, or deep to open those wounds. Because like, you can't get triggered by somebody if you're alone. So you're like, oh, I'm good. I'm in peace. Oh, no one's going to mess up my peace. Like this and that. That's what I was like. Extreme. It was until recently, till I started seeing Blair and getting therapy, that now I've come out of my shell. It's crazy, because the more you heal, all of a sudden you have friends. It's not like I'm out looking for friends, but all of a sudden, like, people are inviting me to stuff. And I'm like, this is weird. Like, all of a sudden I'm going here and I'm going here. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is nice. Like, all of a sudden I have friends. And it's like, when you start being like, I am lovable, that like, people start drawing to you, you know. But when you're in that isolation phase, no one wants to be around that, because you're cold. Like, I was cold stone. I didn't realize it. I'd hang out with people like in church. We'd eat brunch afterwards, and I was like ready to get out of there. I'm like, all right, I did my 5 minutes with 10 minutes. I ate food. Really, I was there for the food.
Wow.
And then I'm out. Like, I'm already having anxiety. Like, I need to get out of the situation, which is crazy, because I feel more safe with hundreds of people looking at me on TikTok than a one-on-one. Like, looking at someone's eyes. Well, I'm healing from that, but a lot of it is like that intimacy, because one-on-one feels so intimate, and I'm so used to that intimacy being so, like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's nice. I even had a guy friend. He wrote me the nicest thing yesterday. He was like, Alicia, I heard what you said about social media. I just want you to know that I think you're a beautiful person the way you are. And I see you, and I'm so grateful to have you. This is somebody just recently that like I've known, but I've avoided, because I was the isolation queen. But you know, we went to church. It's just a friend. Don't worry. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, she's got a boyfriend. Not yet. But it was nice to like, I can have these relationships where like, you know, hopefully he doesn't fall in love with me. They always fall in love. Jake, don't fall in love with me.
You're gravy.
Oh, Jake doesn't love me, y'all. I'm just kidding.
I love you like
he's my sister.
like a friend would love another friend.
No, I know. I'm just kidding. But it's beautiful. Now I have these relationships with men where it's like, they don't look at me like a piece of me. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like even though I was in, OnlyFans, now I have a certain kind of respect. And it's crazy because people, when you do have God in you, it's like I don't care if you were twerking on the street. Look at Mary. She was used so much by God, I don't care what you were doing in your past. Like, when you get God, you have like an aura that's like untouchable. Like, I feel like nobody can touch me now. And that's not the right way to say it. Blair would be like, why can nobody touch you? Because I still speak in such a way of like guarded, like the way I just spoke. Nobody can touch me. Oh my gosh, you see? But the good thing is when you heal, you start catching yourself and things like that. Like, because we should be lovable. We should be able to be touched in like loving ways,
Yeah.
And
look at that. In the middle of you saying it, you're like,
I
whoa, okay.
it.
Yeah. Wow, look at the growth.
My gosh.
Blair would be so proud. You gotta
I gotta send him this.
Yeah, send him the clip and be like, look.
I know he wants to be on it. I was like, we're doing 2, and he's like, I can tell. I'm like, okay, we need to. Anyways, we'll get him here soon. You guys will know. Like, everybody that really follows, you all are gonna see like the people in my life who have made a difference. And it was funny because he asked me, he's like, think of one. He's like, I want you to like rethink, change your perspective about men. And I want you to think of like one person in your life that's been a male figure, that's been a safe figure. And I was like, I have not had one in my whole life. I don't know if we talked about this last time, but that is crazy to think my whole life.
Yeah.
I haven't had one man that was like a friend that I could confide in that was safe. Like my if I think of anybody as like my pothead friends I'd smoke in the park with, like, and they were like pimps, and we'd all go in the park and just smoke. Like, that was my intimacy with a guy friend, was like smoking or like, So it's cool though, when you get God, you start building relationships and like you start having community and like, and look, I got Jake and he sees me for me. He sees me for my heart. And it's still annoying when I get on live because people still will be like, 360. You know what 360 is?
Like spin around?
Yeah. Wow, you got that one.
Well,
he's not in the TikTok world. I'm going to get him on game, but.
Nah.
Like,
maybe this would probably be the only way. If I could be in it with you. Like literally at the same time.
Oh, we'd get so many views because people would be like, oh, she has a boyfriend. I'd be like, oh, this is her boyfriend. Everyone would freak out, I know. Because I'm never around nobody. So when they see me around somebody.
There we go.
I'll show you one day. You know what? When we have more time next time, we'll do a battle and I'll get you in it.
Oh, like literally.
Like, I'll get you in and I'll show you what's done. You're going to be like, this is crazy.
You can battle at any time?
Yeah, I could battle right now.
Oh.
Shoot, I could go live right now.
Ah.
But I want them to watch the podcast, so I don't want to give them all freebies.
And it's also, if you go live, I would imagine your performance would get spiked.
Yeah.
You'd be like, all right, I need to be someone. It's
still hard for me, like, because I was used to being on social media and making money. It's like, it's so hard to transition. Like, I always try to surrender it to God. So before I go live, I'm like, God, whatever happens, happens. But I can feel that, like, okay, you got to battle. You got like this constant instead of just being like, okay, chill out. I have to constantly, when I'm on live, like, tell myself, like, what does God want you to do? Like, relax, like, surrender. It's constant, bro. It's a constant taking. Raise your hand. He's raising his hand because I haven't let him talk at all.
No. I have a question.
Yeah, he's raising his hand because I won't let him talk. Yes, sir.
Thank you for letting me talk. I'm kidding. What do you want to do?
Make that paper. No, I'm just kidding.
There
it is. No. I want to do both. Like, I want to be able to, obviously, TikTok right now is like a temporary thing. It's not for everything, but it's a great way I've learned to be more vulnerable, be more real, even though I perform sometimes, but it's still a place where I'm able to talk about my testimony. And I think that's because I thought I was only good for money for so long that automatically comes back in my brain. Like, I'll be having such a good talk with the chat and talking about God and like guys, if anyone's feeling this way, like, know that, you know, you can get out of it, whatever the situation we're talking about, addiction, you know, DV, whatever. And then, it's like, then there's still that part of me, because you got to think that's how I've been for 5 years
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
OnlyFans, where it's like, then there's that part of me that switches, like, okay, now we have to make money, but why can't I, like, integrate both together has been a struggle for me, of like not performing, being myself, and not focusing on, I wouldn't say I'm focusing on money, but a battle is basically like people are gifting you, you know what I mean? And it's beautiful because they're basically, and I tell them all the time, I'm like, guys, like, without, I have a testimony now, because a lot of girls are in OnlyFans and they're like, if I get out, I'm going to, you know, not have, God won't provide for me. You know, that's the scariest leap. Like, okay, all your finances coming from one resources are gone. And so when people are like, give away your truck, I'm like, bro, I already gave away my paycheck. Like, what more? Like, it's a beautiful testimony that I still have my G-Wagon, that I have a house. I've got my first house, which is crazy, after getting out of OnlyFans. And I had only enough money to last me, like, it wouldn't last long, and especially in Nashville. It wasn't like, when you're in that industry, the money you spend is ridiculous. Like, fast money goes fast. Anybody that's a drug dealer, anybody that's been making fast money will tell you it goes fast. That's why you don't see strippers doing it for 5 years and getting out. There's strippers till they can stop twerking. You know what I mean? Like, people are stuck in it, and it's because it goes by fast. And the way your lifestyle is, it's like you're around people who are spending money, just spend it. And the beautiful thing is, like, now I'm like, I budget my money. Now I look at things and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, do I need that? Like, I probably don't need that. I might still get it though. But, you know, like, it's so different, but I love it now. Like, I feel like that's how life is supposed to be. And maybe one day, you know, God willing, I'll have a husband who, you know, I will be able to just do social media to help people and not have to make it like, you know, I still always going to be a hustler. I'm never not going to work. I'm never going to be like, I'm just going to sit back and, like, I always want to help people. I'm going to use my social media as a tool. You know what I mean? A lot of people are like, get off social media if you find God. Where is that? Like, where is that? Like, that now social media is a great tool to help people. I know so many times it has helped me in my life. Like, just before I came here, I was listening to a prayer on a podcast thing or on a YouTube video. Like, Christians are so goofy. I'm just going to say that. Y'all some goofies that think I need to give away my G-Wagon. Why? Because you live with God and you should be poor. Some of the richest people in the Bible, kings and queens, had money, were in the Bible. You know, this whole thing of, like, I have to be in poverty because I'm a Christian. That's how you view it, so you can keep slacking and being, you know what I mean, do whatever. Like, God never called us. Maybe it's not everybody's calling to have $1 million, but it's definitely stop putting your own projections of how God calls us each differently in our own paths. And, like, that's my biggest thing, is getting accused on social media of all these things.
When you say my biggest thing, what do you mean?
My biggest annoyance as a Christian is the Christians, because they are so self-righteous. They are so judgmental. They, like, push people away from finding Christianity. And that's the thing, like, bro, just, do you know what I did before? Literally every post was my behind, was twerking. Like, I came a long way. Maybe it's not perfect. God is working on me. But, like, damn, give some grace. Like, you make me feel guilty. You make me feel ashamed that I don't even want to do this. You know, I should be feeling loved to where I want to keep changing. Show my best friend, and one of the reasons I got off OnlyFans, she loved me, never judged me. She never told me, Alicia, go delete your post. Alicia, go do this. Alicia, go do that. She loved me, and because of that, it made me want to change. It made me want to get off. She gave up everything, all the money, everything she had for the Lord. You know, her lifestyle she had, her toxic relationship. And I'm like, I looked at that and I'm like, if she can do it, why can't I do it? What is it stopping? And it was never her being, oh yeah, you have to do this. Oh, because then I'd be doing it for the wrong reasons, right? So I try to come with love. I've still got a lot of religion in me. I still feel like it needs to be broken. You know, I was Southern Baptist, long dresses, going door to door.
Oh yeah.
If you die tonight, will you go to heaven? Like, my little testament, nervous as hell. You know, 7th grade, reading my little thing, so cute, reading my little Bible verses. But, like, with that being said, I grew up in such a hostile, like, Southern Baptist, independent Southern Baptist was so religious. and then never spoke about God's love. And
Mm.
and that's the transforming part, is love. And that's what I'm learning. In the past, like, I've been, guys, on this journey for a year and a half, and I'm just now getting into God's love, because I could never feel that love for myself, and I could never accept I was loved. So it takes a while to just keep pressing into him, because it's so worth it.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot today.
No, I want you to talk. What? Oh.
Guys, I have to use the Tinkle Winkle. Okay, we're still good.
We're
I love our job.
I know. It's not gonna be refined. It's not gonna be like, I don't even care if it's insightful or not. I just, somebody from where we go to church one time, like, we would have conversations here and there, and then she asked if I, like, ever would have a podcast, and because she was like, oh, you ask good questions, and I only ever want to get to know people's story. It's Yesterday I was having a conversation with someone, brilliant conversation, really, really valuable conversation, and during the conversation, we she had a line about, like, kids being parents' biggest teachers, because when you're a parent, your kid's going to come along and you're going to have to learn how to be patient with them.
Mm-hmm.
And how you receive love is going to be different than how they receive love.
Mm-hmm.
So then you're going to have to understand that human's their own person, and you're going to have to interact with them in a way that might not be the way that you would be enjoy being interacted with, but it's what they need. So you have to do that to meet them where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
And hearing that was like, we're all going to teach each other stuff. It's
Right.
going to happen. It's the stories that
whether you want to learn, though, from it.
yeah, for sure. And that's like, there's a lot in that I'm not going to go into, but a lot of the time we don't need to be taught something as much as we need to understand where we're at and other people's stories. So, like, us just talking, it's like, well, if something cool comes up that gets said that helps somebody, awesome. And if it doesn't, like, we're just talking, and that's it. And not everything needs to be this life-changing thing.
Right.
Like the dating events that I host, my whole goal
Oh, we gotta talk about that.
is to just, like, I know in other cities, because the company I work for, we have it in other cities, the whole, I shouldn't say the whole goal is to make it big and grand. I'm just like, I want people to meet, and I want them to meet in a setting that's going to be very similar to how they're going to live the rest of their life, which is in normalcy.
Yeah.
And I like,
which, by the way, when is the next singles thing?
the next one is the 19th.
The 19th. If you in Nashville, come. But it's 35 and older.
Yeah, it's 35 plus. This one's 35 plus.
I make that. I make the cut.
Do you?
Yes. I know. I look so good and young.
Wait, how old are you?
35.
Oh, are you?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be going because I'm hosting it, but I'm 34. Somebody yesterday asked if they could go because they're 34, and I was like, yeah.
But guys, it's called, explain more of the thing.
Yeah, Thursday dating.
Thursday dating. You can find out on Instagram.
And if you are watching this and you're in a different city and you're not in Nashville, because we're in Nashville, we have them all over there. I think we're all over the world. We're in 100+ cities, and so.
The most single guy is hosting the dating.
Yeah, I know.
We're gonna talk about. We should do that on the next one. I wanna get into your love.
Yeah, I don't have a love life, dude.
But we want to talk about your non-existent love life.
Yeah.
Like your journey of, like, how you have navigated that as a man, because I know that's very hard, and there's a lot of men who just jump from person to person, And I feel like you've done a lot of work to be so comfortable in being single and being like
Yeah, it sucks.
just kidding.
I
I
know.
said it
I
comfortable.
know.
He's like, no,
I
it
know.
sucks.
Well, no, it's comfortable. I know I'm single, and for the first time probably in my life, I'm okay that I'm single. But it still just sucks.
Do you
Like
want a hug?
no, I'm
He said,
good.
oh, he said, no, I
No,
don't.
yeah, very just like you stay over there.
Fine.
We're too close as it is. There's um no, there's a lot attached to like the being single thing for
We're going to
me.
go, our next one, now I got it though. We
Yeah.
actually don't have direction. Our next one is going to be single.
Okay,
Single and being Christian is going to be the next one,
I like that.
right?
That'll be fun.
And yeah, so that'll be good.
And what?
No, just,
Go.
I was going to talk about something that doesn't pertain to, but yes, that's going to be our next one, guys. We're going to go into the deep, because a lot of people are single and Christian and trying to, navigate like how to
Yeah,
be good on that. But we'll wrap it up here,
bet.
and
Let's do it.
then
And then you can go use the little
I gotta
ladies'
use
room.
the ladies' room, and then yeah, guys. Hopefully this has helped somebody out there. Um, life is beautiful.
You are beautiful.
I want you to close it out. I've taken
Oh.
the mic for 100 years right now. Okay, go.
Oh, 100 years?
You're gonna close this out.
Um,
Wait. Before you close out, no, actually close out, and I'll come back.
no,
Make sure
because
to
then
like,
you'll be okay.
Like, comment, subscribe. Please, guys, click the subscribe. We're going to have a lot more of these talks. And just, you know what? Hopefully, y'all are enjoying it. And yeah, please please subscribe, and please share.
Do we put up
Love you
any?
guys.
Do we put up any shorts?
I only put up like one.
Okay, because we can take those clips. That
We'll talk offline.
good.
Close out, Jake. I love you.
Let's see. Closing it. If I were my younger self, and I had someone, oh man, I've gotten emotional the last 2 days about this. Um, high schoolers are really like something I'm so passionate about, and like a few months ago, I realized that there's like high schoolers that don't hear more than like 5 times in their life that they're loved. And it just is, it's so, I mean, it hurts to think about that for me. And then that turns into adulthood, and then people think that they're not loved and they're not lovable and they're worthy of love. And so if anybody's like in that place where you don't think that you're worthy of love, you were designed to be loved and cared for and known and seen and celebrated. Like the whole reason you're on planet Earth is to be loved. That is why you're here. And I just hate that there's young people in general that don't know that they're loved. I was fortunate enough to have parents that loved me, and that were there, and they weren't like, you're a burden on me in my life. They were just like, hey, I love you, and did the best they could loving me. So yeah, just anybody that has ears that is listening right now, just like, you're loved. Like every part of you is loved, even the times when you feel like you're not worthy of it, you're not good enough for it, where you don't feel wanted or chosen. Like, you are seen, and you're beautiful, and you're cared for, and you carry so much worth in this world. So yeah, I think that's the end.
That's so beautiful. I love that you can go deep. Not many men get to a place, and it's like there's this big stigma that if you're a man, like you're feminine if you're in your feelings, and I think there's so much masculinity in having that heart and having a big heart and being open with your emotions and your feelings. Like that is way more masculine. I don't know where this stigma came from. Maybe Hollywood, I don't know. But like that takes a lot to be vulnerable and open, and to any man who's felt like they had to shut their feelings. Like I was a girl. My dad kind of raised me like a boy, so I was more like shut your feelings down, but like getting close to your feelings is the most beautiful healing thing you can do.
Yeah.
And you have to feel to heal, and like
Yeah.
Jake is such a blessing because he shows me what it's like to be like that. I need to be more like that. And so thank you for your big heart. Guys, this is Jake. He does one-on-one coaching. If you are interested, hit him up. He's amazing. He can do it on the phone, whatever, online as well. But yeah, he's an incredible person, and he really is. Like that's why I can sit here and open up and be, because I am not the type of person that opens up. And I literally we went to coffee 3 weeks ago, and like I'm able to be vulnerable, and that's where healing comes, is where you feel safe, and he is such a safe place, and he meets you where you're at. So guys, hit him up. He is great. I love him. All right, guys. Only God Podcast, episode 2 wrapped up. Please like, subscribe, share. Love you guys.
All right. See y'all.